Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and safe. In science, we are now unit number 6, right? And we learned 3 lessons of this unit. And in the last class, we did the workbook of this unit, these 3 units, right? Today we'll do the new lesson, okay? Lesson number 4 and lesson number 5. Okay, so before going to the new lesson, we'll just revise the old lessons, okay? What is our unit name? It is helping plants to grow well. And what was the first lesson? Parts of plants. And what we learned in parts of plant? We learned about flower, stem, leaves and root. And we learned the functions also, right? Yes. And the second lesson was how new plants are formed. Tell me the ways of growing a new plant. One is germination, another one is stem cutting. Also we learned about tuber plants and spread stem plants, right? Yes. And the third lesson was food from plants. What we learned in food from plants, what are the foods we are getting from plants? Vegetables and fruits. Very good. So these are the 3 lessons we already learned in the last classes. So shall I ask you some questions? Are you ready? Yes. First question. Who am I? Who is this? Yes, the trunk of the tree. Very good. Now the second one. What is this? A leaf, right? Yes. Who is giving me the green color? Who is giving the green color to the leaf? Yes, chlorophyll. Very good. Now next question is. Which process is this? Growing a plant from a seed is called germination. Very good. Now the next one. Each eye of potato. Each eye of potato is its? Yes, bud. Very good. Now the next question is. Broccoli is a dash vegetable. Broccoli is a flower vegetable. Very good. Now we'll move to our new lessons. Okay? Our fourth lesson of the unit helping plants to grow well is grass. And the fifth one is plants and water. Okay? Yes. So first we will go to our fourth lesson, grass. Lesson number 4 is grass. Yes. You know, grasses are the most important plants in the world. I will show you some grasses. See, these are some different types of grasses. From a distance, all the grasses may look alike, but their flowers and leaves and stems are different. Some of the grasses are quite tall, some of the grasses are short, right? Yes. So these are some grasses. Now, tell me, where can you find out the grasses? Yes, the grasses grow everywhere. Yes. The grasses, some of the grasses grow by the side of the road. See, in these pictures. Yes, these are some grasses which grow by the side of road. And some of the grasses which grow in fields. See? Yes, and sometimes we are growing some grasses in our playing field and lawns, right? Do you remember our football court in the school? Is there any grasses? Yes, there is, right? Look at these grasses. These are short, right? Usually, the grasses grow quite tall if they are not cut. But in the lawns and playing fields, the grasses are short. You know why? Because they have been cut for a long time. Right? Yes. And some grass are grown in our vegetable garden and flower beds. Do these grasses will help our vegetable or our flowering plant? No, it will not. It will always block the growth of our plants. You know why? Because all these grasses will take the mineral salt and water from the soil. So our plant will not get enough water and mineral salt, right? So because of this, these types of grasses will always block the growth of our plants. So such type of grasses we have to remove it from our garden. See, these are the unwanted grass grow in vegetable gardens or flower beds. So you know what is that called? It is called weeds. So weeds are unwanted grasses which grow in our vegetable garden or field of crops or flower garden, right? Yes, I will show you some examples of weeds. See, these are some weeds, some unwanted grasses which grows in our, usually it grows in our vegetable gardens. Now, some weeds in the field of crops. See, in these photos, you can see some weeds in our field of crops also. See, these are weeds. These weeds will always block the growth of our plants. So for the better growth, we have to remove such weeds from our garden, right? Now, the grasses provide food for animals and humans. Yes, the grasses provide food for animals. First, we will check that one. For animals, look at these animals. What they are eating? They all are eating grasses. Even the wild animals also, rabbit, hare, all are eating grasses. See? So grasses provide food for animals, right? Yes. Now, look here. What the sheep and cows are eating? What is that? Is that green grasses? No, right? Yes, these are dried grasses. What is a dried grass actually? You know what is it called? It's called hay. It is the dried grass. During the winter season, most of the farm animals are fed by dried grass, are fed by hay. Okay? Yes. Now for humans, because we already said the grass provide food for animals and humans. For humans, how? Yes, cereals in the form of cereals, right? What is a cereals actually? It is any grass grow for its seed. For example, look at this one. You know what is this? Which plant is this? Yes, it is wheat grass. Wheat is a grass actually. So you know what we will take? We will take the grain of wheat. The grain of wheat. You know what do you mean by grain? The seed. The seed of wheat. Then this seed of wheat are ground into flour. And from the flour we make bread and cakes and rotis. Right? So from the wheat grass we are getting bread. Right? So the grass provide food for us. Yes. Now I'll show you another example. See the another one. Rice. Rice plant is also a grass. You know, half of the world's population is eating the cooked rice. And from where we are getting cooked rice? From the rice grass plant, right? Yes. And look at the another one. Oats. From the oats, we'll take the seed of oats, grain of oats, and from that we can make porridge, oat cakes, right? Yes. So these are some examples for cereals. Now look at this one. What is this? Maize. What do you mean by maize? Is a new word for you? I will tell one similar name for this. Corn. Yes, corn is familiar to you, right? Yes. You know, corn is a grass actually. And from the corn, we are taking out the grain of corn. Grain of corn. And from this, we can make cornflakes, popcorns, right? Yes, these all are examples for cereals. So grass provide cereals for us. Now another one. What is this? Sugar cane. Sugar cane is a big grass. It is a quite tall grass, right? And from the sugar cane, we are getting sugar. Yes. So the grass provide food for animals and Humans also in the form of cereals and sugar, right? Yes. Now, the grass can help us in the making of houses or buildings. How? How it can help us in the making of houses or buildings? Yes, it can. Look here, you know wheat straw? What do you mean by straw? Straw means stem. Wheat plant stem. Wheat straw means the stem of wheat grass plant. See, these are the stem. Right? You know, after harvesting the wheat, we will take the stem. Then we will dry it out. And we will use this wheat straw to thatch the roof of our houses. I will show you some examples. Thatch means cover the roof. Okay, see, here the roof of houses are covered by the wheat straw. Look here, another one. See, all these are wheat straws. See? Yes. So, the grass can help us in the making of roof, right? Yes. Now the next one, bamboo grass. Bamboo grass is a kind of grass which has woody stem. See? See the wood kind of stem it has, right? It can be used to build house, walls and roofs. Look here, these house walls are made by, yes, bamboo grass plant, right? Yes, these are some examples. Here the roofs are made by bamboo grass. Yes. So, the grass can help us in the making of roof and walls of houses or buildings, right? Yes. So, this is about our lesson number 4, grass, right? And what we learned in grass? We learned about different types of grass which grows in the fields or which grow by the side of road, right? Yes. And then we learned about weeds. Weeds are unwanted grass grows in a field of crops or vegetable gardens, right? Yes. Then food from grass for animals. Yes, they are eating the green grass and hay. Hay is dried grass, right? Yes. And for humans, the grass provides cereals. For example, rice, wheat, oats. Now, the other uses of grass. What are the other uses of grass? Yes, grass helps us in the making of houses or buildings. Yes. So, these are the things we learned in our lesson number 4, grasses. Now, we'll go to the next lesson. Lesson number 5. What is our lesson number 5? Yes, plants and water. Let's go to it. The plants uses the water. Yes, the plant uses the water to make its food and carry food to all parts of plant. Yes, it is like our blood in the body. You know, the blood in the body carry the food to all the parts of our body. Like that, the water carries the food and minerals to all parts of the plant. Yes. See, most of the plants are getting water from the soil. And this water has come from rain, right? Yes. And you can see in the roots a tiny hairs are there, right? What are these called? Root hairs. So through the root hairs, the water will go inside. It will go inside, it will go up to the stem, and through the stem, it will go into the leaves. And these leaves will make the food, right? Yes. Now look at this one. This is how it is happening. Small root hairs is taking the water from the soil, and this water is going into the leaves. And leaves will take some water to make the food. Only little water. Now what about the rest of water? Yes, the rest will evaporate. Evaporate through the pores of leaves. Do you remember the pores? The tiny holes that we can see on leaves? Yes. This water, the extra water, will evaporate through the leaves. Yes. So, tell me, if a water is not getting enough water, if a plant is not getting enough water, what will happen to that plant? Yes. If a plant does not receive enough water, what will happen? The stem and leaves of the plant will become bendy. And we say the plant has wilted. See, this plant is not getting enough water, so it become bendy. We'll say it has wilted. What is that word? Wilted. Okay. So, if a plant is getting enough water, it will become a healthy plant like this. If a plant is not getting enough water, it will become bendy. That means it has wilted, right? See, the wilted plant and healthy plant. And if the plant still does not receive enough water, what will happen later? It will die. Yes. So, for a plant, water is very important. Now, you know, there are different types of roots. The main types are taproot and fibrous root. See? Yes. What is a taproot actually? Yes, taproot is a common type of root that we can see in most of the plants. You know, it is a single thick root with small roots. And these small roots helps to hold the plant firmly in the soil. Yes. And these smaller roots are covered with tiny root hairs. You can see in this picture, right? See the single thick root with smaller roots. See? And these smaller roots are covered with tiny hairs. See? Yes. This type of roots are called taproot. And you know, some taproots are swollen with stored food, like our carrot. See, our carrot, like this. So the some taproots will swollen with food, like our carrot. You know, our carrot is a taproot, actually. So in carrot, the taproot is swollen with food, right? Yes. So, this is an example for taproot. So, what is a taproot? It is a single thick root with smaller roots growing from it, right? Yes. Now, another one is fibrous root. What is a fibrous root? What is a fibrous root actually? Yes, it's like this. Masses of thin spreading roots. Too many roots will be there. See? Too many tiny roots will be there. See? You know, for our grass? Yes, for our grass, it has fibrous root. See? The root structure will be like this. See? Too many roots will be there. And it's small roots. See? These are examples for fibrous root. See? Our grass is having which root? Fibrous root. See? Yes. So these are the two types of roots. One is taproot and one is fibrous root. Okay? I will show you some examples for these two. What is this actually? Tell me, what is this? Yes, beetroot. From the name itself, it's there, root. Yes. It is a taproot. Yes, and this taproot is swollen with food. And what is this? Bamboo. It is a grass. Grass is having fibrous root. Now the another one is wheat. Wheat is also a grass, so it is having fibrous root. Now the another one is banana. Banana is having which root? Tell me. Yes, fibrous root. Now the next one, potato. Potato is having taproot. Very good. So these are some examples for taproot and fibrous root plants. Okay? Yes. Now, we said it before that every plant needs water. So what about desert plants? Will they get enough water? Yes. You know, for example, which is this plant? Cactus. Desert cactus actually it is. And You know, such type of desert plant have spreading roots. See? Like this, spreading roots to reach every available drop of water. Yes. So, what they will do is, they will store this water when it rains. They will store the water when it rains, and then they use it during the long period of dry weather. Yes. So, the desert plants can stay for a long time without taking much water. We finished our lesson number 5. Our lesson number 5 is plants and water. What we learned in lesson number 5? Yes, we learned about the connection between plant and water. That means if water is not there, the plant cannot live, right? And then we learned about the types of root. We learned about taproot and fibrous root. What is a taproot? It is a single thick root with small roots growing from it, right? Now, what is a fibrous root actually? Yes, the masses of thin spreading roots are called fibrous root. Now, for desert plant, they don't need much water, they need only little water, right, to live. Because of their spreaded root system, they can take water from long distance, right? So, they need only small amount of water to live. So, we finished our 2 lessons today, lesson number 4 and lesson number 5. So, watch the video carefully and learn the lessons and read the textbook. Okay, so thank you very much.